It is my singular honor to address this second edition of the Mnangagwa Business Summit 2024, being held under the theme, Deepening Zimbabwe's Economic Transformation, Winning Together. The platform provides business players and government officials another opportunity to share ideas for the development of our motherland as we move towards the achievement of Vision 2030 we target to achieve. I commend the Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers for organizing this noble event. The presence of a cross-section of business stakeholders in this room reflects your shared commitment to advance economic development. This spirit is also in keeping with our philosophy, Nyika inovakwa, igotongwa, igonamatirwa nevene vayo. Ukavona nyika yokwenyu yovakwa nevasiri vayo, yotongwa nevasiri vayo, yonamatirwa navabva kure, mukai. Under the Second Republic and our economic blueprint, the National Development Strategy, we continue to advance private sector-led economic development and growth. In order to achieve sustainable economic growth and transformation, this indeed is a journey that requires vision, commitment, determination, and collective action from both the private and public sectors. None of the two is wiser than the other. To this end, the Second Republic will continue to make interventions towards bolstering the foundations we have set for business to thrive, while ensuring that economic growth is inclusive and transformative. However, this does not exclude the right for the business sector to voice the mistakes government may make towards them. Because we are ready to point out your mistakes. Let me assure you, we are ready to hear from you our mistakes, if any. At the heart of our country's economic transformation agenda is the principle of leaving no one and no place behind. Hence, every Zimbabwean, regardless of background or circumstance, should participate in and benefit from the country's economic progress. This is an essential building block for a resilient and dynamic economy that can withstand shocks and thrive in an ever-changing global landscape. For instance, we are faced now with climate change. This year, we did not have good rains. But if both the public sector and the private sector work together and have dialogue, we surmount these challenges together. It is not profitable or wise for us in the public sector to say the private sector should be doing the following without actually dialoguing with the private sector to say this is what we think you should be doing. In the same token, it is not proper for you, the private sector, to say the public sector must be doing the following without you dialoguing with us. Let us have the courage to tell each other the mistakes which we make. Let us have the courage to congratulate each other when we do good things. Hence, every Zimbabwean, regardless of background or circumstance, should participate in and benefit from the country's economic progress together. This is an essential aspect of a united nation. A country united in purpose, in focus, and in vision. Distinguished invited guests, my government is fulfilling the promises and aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe, and you as business must play your part. Now, I am making an assertion that my government is fulfilling. You also have the freedom to say you are not telling the truth. We in the government are saying to you, you play your part. We don't think you are playing your part fully. You reserve the right also to say the same to us. But let us dialogue. The policies that we have continually developed together have been robust and responsive, resulting in increased production and productivity across all economic sectors. Musara was giving us a presentation here. There was dialogue between the agricultural sector and the government, to an extent where we said we need to be self-sufficient in wheat. This has never happened in this country. But we said to the farmers, how much land should be under wheat in order for the country to have adequate and sufficient wheat? So government would support that hectarage needed to make sure we have adequate and sufficient wheat produced by ourselves. And we have achieved it because we dialogued. We have not only achieved that, we have now excess. We are now producing this year because of drought. Last year we had an excess of 41,000 metric tons, excess of what we wanted, what we consume in the country. Why? Because we talk to each other. And in dialoguing, we resolve challenges which face subsectors. So, policies which we develop together become robust and responsive to the challenges faced in that subsector. This is the power of partnerships, the power of synergies, and a greater unity of purpose in a nation. The implementation of more measures and strategies to promote industrialization, in particular the value addition and beneficiation of our natural and local resources, should now be our key focus together. This must stimulate innovation, entrepreneurship, and investment in our productive sectors while creating employment opportunities, wealth, and a broad-based empowerment of our younger generation. It is pleasing that there are numerous signature projects which are leaping forward our quest to become an upper middle income society by 2030, delivered by the Second Republic. The Dinson steel plant under construction in Manise, which I will be commissioning later this month, will have positive and multi-pronged impacts on our economy. And down the line, this Manise steel plant will be the biggest on the African continent. Congratulations. That is not the only landmark on the African continent with regards to Zimbabwe becoming an unavoidable, significant player on the African continent. The discovery of gas and the oil in Mzarabani will undoubtedly move us from a net importer of petrochemicals, create new jobs and new skills for our young people. While this is a new area, government will ensure that maximum benefits accrue to the generality of our citizens. Because as we venture to becoming an oil-producing country, we will not be as expert as the already existing oil-producing countries who know all the tricks about oil. We shall be doing the same, mastering, falling and standing up, walking, falling, and standing up until we become experts like them. Meanwhile, the manufacturing sector has witnessed an increase in capacity utilization, riding on the responsive policies of government and the prevailing conducive operating environment. Yes, we are under sanctions. And these sanctions have been with us for 24 years. It is possible that somebody in the crowd is about 24 years old. So that guy, gentleman or lady, does not know any environment without sanctions. And we are growing economically under sanctions. What would happen if there are no sanctions? Going into the future, we must all do our part to unlock our country's full potential towards greater GDP growth. I didn't quite see it when it was displayed. It was removed before I could recognize where Zimbabwe map was. I said, going forward, we must all do our part to unlock our country's full potential towards greater GDP growth, economic competitiveness, and increase in exports of our local brands, goods, and services. Despite the challenges that we are facing due to the continued illegal and heinous sanctions from the United States of America, we must push the frontiers of our country's success and prosperity. This task and burden rests upon us as Zimbabweans. When some of the sanctions were removed and some remained, people expected me to say thank you for the removing sanctions. I cannot say thank you for removing illegality. These sanctions are illegal and they should be condemned. Whether they remove 99.9% and 0.5% remains, we condemn. Because in the first place, they are illegal. We have been resilient for the last 23 years under these sanctions. And no amount of propaganda and under whatever guise will fool us. Because some people in this country were saying, oh, what has happened by the US should be applauded. Somebody steals your cattle, 12 of them. When he brings back 8, you say, oh, thank you. Where are the other 4? Netsakazwa. Our country has not offended any nation, not to my knowledge. Zimbabwe is a friend to all and an enemy to none. Our people, including the business sector, and our economy deserve to be given a chance to grow and develop just like any other country within the Committee of Nations. However, despite these sanctions, Zimbabweans shall continue to be united, to be peace-loving and hard-working as a people. We have come this far under these sanctions. We have realized unprecedented success milestones which we have registered, indisputable GDP growth. We shall keep marching forward in spite of sanctions. Some nations don't know that we are the descendants of the great emperor, Mnangagwa. Against all odds, we are realizing prosperity and a higher quality of life for our people in spite of those who wish us ill. Distinguished guests, climate change is real, and our country is experiencing its negative impact with an expected slowing down of economic growth in 2024 as a result of the El Nino-induced drought. I challenge the private sector to develop adaptive mechanisms that augment my administration's policy measures aimed at insulating the economy against the attendant shocks. I further call upon the private sector to join government to cushion the vulnerable members of our society, so that no one suffers from hunger during the lean drought season we are going through. I'm happy that Wanamsarabati are congratulations, Msara. Mwewe usazobuda kuchipinde wa region. Rapo unao. Meanwhile, infrastructure development remains the backbone of achieving economic growth and improving the quality of life of our people. My administration is scaling up the modernization of transportation networks energy systems, and a digital infrastructure to facilitate trade, connectivity, and access to markets. Yesterday, we were launching connectivity in Somabula. In light of the booming digital economy, in light of booming digital economy, I urge businesses to embrace digitalization as a necessity for increasing production and productivity, as well as to realize unmatched efficiencies, competitiveness, and ultimate growth. You must harness the power of digital technologies to unlock new opportunities, drive innovation, and create lasting value for business and the economy as a whole. Only yesterday, I launched the 1,500-kilometer fiber optic broadband backbone in Somabula, Gweru, which will extend Victoria Falls, Bad Bridge, and Harare, riding on our national railways or Zimbabwe infrastructure. In addition, my administration is rolling out various initiatives and cross-border projects to advance regional integration towards propelling our doing business in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, as well as the broader international markets. Our focus should increasingly shift towards sustaining an export-led production trajectory, trade and commerce. Hence, I challenge business stakeholders to take full advantage of the vibrant and dynamic regional and continental markets. The engagement and re-engagement policy of the Second Republic is bearing fruit and creating new opportunities for cooperation, partnerships, growth, and development, with positive spillovers impacting all sectors of the economy. Business is urged to maximize on this policy. Be aggressive, make mistakes, and correct them. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe's ongoing economic transformation journey requires all hands on the deck, both in the public and private sectors, as we scale up collaboration and innovation to achieve our country's vision we set for ourselves, Vision 2030. Let us harness the collective creativity and energy of all Zimbabweans, both at home and in the diaspora, from the boardroom to the classroom, and from the farm to the factory, towards building a future of prosperity, opportunity, and dignity for all. We must rise to the challenge of modernizing and industrializing our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe, with courage, determination, and optimism. We should never, never feel inferior to any economy on the planet. In conclusion, I assure you of my administration's commitment to always dialogue with the private sector to ensure that we realize mutually beneficial outcomes and that we win together and they lose together. Umaka wina, umaka ruza. Totendekana mimwe. Where we win, we must win together. Tofara. Where we lose together. Totsam. But No challenges are insurmountable when we face them with tenacity and unity as a people. Once again, thank you for organizing this business summit, and I hope that your resolutions will contribute to enhancing and sharpening our policies, growing trade and the economy as a whole for the development in our great motherland, Zimbabwe. With these remarks, I now declare this second edition of the ED Mnangagwa Business Summit officially open. I wish you successful and insightful deliberations. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe.